I think so. Are you saying that if there is no conflict or something like conflict? No, no, I did not say that, sir. I asked if you are not in conflict at all, at any level, what would that state be? Would you then say, I am awake? Or do you only know you are awake through conflict? I am conscious when I am open to impressions. Sir, when are you conscious? Do stick to this for 2 minutes. When you are hurt, when you have joy, when you respond. Otherwise you're dead or asleep. So you only know that you are conscious awake when there is a challenge and a response. That's all. Wait, sir, that's all we're saying. So I am conscious only when there is a challenge to which I respond, and that response breeds conflict. If the response is complete to the challenge, there is no conflict. Then I don't even know that I'm responding. Then I don't even know of the challenge, because I'm so completely awake. Of course, that sounds utopian nonsense. I'm pointing out only one thing, which is, I am awake only when there is challenge and response, and that response is not complete to the challenge, is not adequate to the challenge, right? Which means when there is a challenge and I don't act completely or respond completely to that challenge, there is conflict. So I only know conflict, which makes me say, am I conscious? Now, wait a minute. When I say, I love you, is there conflict? What does love mean? Please, sir, don't analyse. We'll analyse it presently. Just listen. When I say, I love you, is there conflict? Well, if there is conflict, then you're saying it when you're asleep. Quite right. In this business of being asleep all the time and dead all the time, there must be lapses when one's consciousness may not be like you describe. Could you point out a lapse so we could get a feel of it? Look, sir, what we're trying to find out, what are we trying to find out? What are we trying to do with each other? We are trying to find out whether violence, which is conflict, can come to an end, right? Not superficially, but deeply. And in inquiring into that, we are looking into the whole process of memory, into the state of mind which is perpetually in conflict. And because we are in conflict, we are in misery, we are conscious, right? When you are completely happy, you follow, sir? Are you conscious that you are happy? There is a different kind of consciousness when you are happy. Don't introduce other factors, sir. Just take one fact. But there are other factors. I know there are lots of other factors. I know that. Then your question does not have any meaning. It has no meaning if we bring in all the other factors. But I'm just asking a very simple question. When you're tremendously joyous, are you conscious that you're joyous? No. Yes. You stop to look at it. When you're very angry, at that second, are you conscious or only afterwards? When, for whatever motive, there's an extraordinary state of happiness. You're not at that second conscious. Later on it begins. You say, what an extraordinary moment that was. I wish I could have it repeated, and so on and so on. So both conflict and that state in which there is no conflict is within this field of consciousness, right? No? A small child or an animal? Sir, we're not discussing the child or the animal. We're discussing ourselves, you and I. Not the child nor the animal. Here I am. Look, sir, here I am. There you are. Our problem is we have lived in violence for so many centuries. As human beings we are asking ourselves, is it possible to be free of this violence? And in asking that question we are exploring. We're not going back to the child or to the animal. The animal is also violent, and we have inherited perhaps that violence, or that violence has been created as the result of society, a culture. But we are violent, and we are asking if that violence can come to an end, in you and in me. Is not consciousness the feeling of being separated from other human beings? Yes, sir, that's part of it, when there is separation between the observer and the observed. Sir, did you say that not being conscious at the moment of anger or passion, and the immediate memory of it, both those things are within the field of consciousness? Sir, are they? They have to be, otherwise you couldn't remember. Of course, what are we asking, sir? We are trying to find out the nature of conflict being violence. Now, this conflict in which we have lived has created a consciousness in which there is the observer and the observed, right? There is the me and the not me, which means there is a separation between the observer and the observed, right? Now, will not this violence, this conflict endure as long as there is this separation? Separation and the conflict within ourselves will cease when we give up everything on earth. Sir, we're not giving up. That's just a theory. When you give up everything on earth, we can't give up everything on this earth. We have to have food, we have to have clothes, shelter. Sir, let me make it very simple, shall we? I want to be free of violence. How am I to do it? What am I to do? I have tried suppression, I have tried conformity, I've tried identifying myself with something greater which I call peace, love, God, and that doesn't solve it either, right? I've tried everything because I really want to be free of violence, because to me, violence is a disease and a healthy mind must be free of every form of disease. So I say, what am I to do? Such obvious things as to give up my nationality, religious beliefs, dogmas, that's gone, finished, it has no meaning anymore. But I'm still violent, I'm still aggressive, ambitious. Now I say, what am I to do? Conflict is a result of education. If you eliminate all those conflicts from education, you're no longer alive. Yes, sir, I understand, but answer me. Will you tell me how to be free of violence? That's all I ask. I've tried education, I've tried religion, I've tried to control myself, I've tried to be kind and generous, yet there are moments when I'm tremendously violent. My problem, my question is, what am I to do to be free of this violence? But this question is a subtle form of violence. No, no it's not. Put it the other way round, sir. I want to live completely at peace with myself and with the world, which doesn't mean I go to sleep, or go to a mountain, into a cave, or some absurd thing, but I want to live peacefully. What am I to do? You can't do it. You cannot. Then my problem is solved. I can live at peace, but I want to live. I want to live at peace. I can't. Sorry. Then my problem is solved. I can't live at peace, but I want to live at peace. Look, please, I beg of you, just listen. I want to live at peace, right? It isn't just an idea. It isn't just a formula. I don't want to have a breath of hate, jealousy, anxiety, fear in me. I want to live completely at peace, which doesn't mean I want to die. I want to live in this world. I want to function. I want to look at the trees, flowers, women, boys, girls. I want to look at them and at the same time live completely at peace with myself and with the world. What am I to do? But you can't ask that question. You're asking all kinds of questions. When you ask that question, what do you reply? Either you say, like that gentleman, you can't, therefore you've blocked yourself, you have stopped yourself from further inquiry, or you say you can be at peace only when you go to heaven, that is, when you die. You are left only to stand still. No, I don't want to stand still. I want to live. I am living. I want to love without hate, without jealousy. Your problem is to communicate your wish to the world. Only then will you have the possibility of having peace. Ah, no, I don't want to communicate with the world. The world is stupid. The world is brutal. How can I communicate with the world? Sir, you are just talking nonsense. You must be vulnerable. You're just quoting what I said yesterday. That's not my argument. I don't want to have conflict with myself at any cost. I don't want to quarrel with anybody. I want to have great affection, kindliness, love. I don't want anything else. It's not true for me. It may not be true for you. Then, if it is not true for you, why isn't it true for you? Well, I wish it were. Look, we started this discussion by asking ourselves if it is possible to be free of violence. To be free of violence means to live at peace, right? And if I say I don't want to live at peace, I want to carry on with violence, there is something totally wrong with such a mind. I don't say I don't want peace. I say I see my wish for violence.